I have, I think. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm just getting up my comments. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to another Sunday fun day. I hope that everybody is well and doing okay. I'm just moving bits across and sort of getting myself all sorted out. I'm just hoping that I have got everything in line. I'm just still busy just getting myself sorted out. Always hectic that last hour before you become live, and you think you're all prepared and then something just there's a spanner in the works. So I'll just wait for a few more people to join us. The weather here is not as shiny and sunny as it has been in the past. I'm just turning on my lights. There we go. And moving bits across. My desk is sorry to say, is not working for some unknown reason. Overhead, let me just check this out. It should be activated. Okay. Oh, this is not going well. Let me, right, I'm going to reactivate my overhead. If it doesn't work, then I will. I don't see why it's not working. I think I've got an idea. Don't think it's there, but I'm just checking. I do apologise for this. I really, really do. That's my main screen, which is not that. Savannah, you've got no idea how I can get this up. Activate. Okay. Just bear with me, and as I just change my cameras over, because that one seems to not be working. It may have been pulled out of the computer by mistake, so just give me a second while I just switch these over. There we go. Hopefully I might just have to, there we go. Hello, no, there we go, it's working. Hello everybody. But I think it's that one, so let me turn that one off. I don't know how that's happened, and put that one back there. Oh, there we go. So hello, we are now live. We're here still, so hopefully we are all there. I do apologise for that, and yeah. Hey, there we are. Brilliant. So, always there is something, isn't there? Always. So, welcome to Sunday Fun Day. Thank you for joining me on the last day in June. I can't believe we're in, we'll be in July tomorrow. It's just manic. It's just, I just can't believe how quick this year's going. But anyway, let's do a little bit of crafting. Now, I haven't, the only thing I've done is I had done my, this is going to be my toilet rolls. I didn't have any empty ones, so that's why I thought I'd just use it as a faux toilet roll mini album. But if you've got toilet rolls, you will need 6, And what you will need to do is flatten them so they're flat like that. And then run them through your die cutting machine with no dies in, just with your 2 plates, just to flatten them more. I did have one, hold 1 second. Now what I did with mine is I just sprayed them quite liberally with isopropyl alcohol, just to get rid of any germs that may have been on the toilet rolls, and just left them to dry. So that way they should be safe. But I've actually seen people on eBay and Etsy selling them, used ones, like empty but used ones, for like £20. I thought it was incredible. Well, I suppose if you want to buy them, then you can get them that way. So I had one here because I wanted to just show you. So I've just flattened mine down. I've sprayed it, as I say, with my isopropyl alcohol, and it's dry. And then all you need to do is just put it on top of your die cutting machine, like so. So you've got plate, and then your toilet roll, and then your plate, and just run it through, and that will help flatten it even more. Okay, like so. Now you will need to measure your toilet rolls because they're all different ones of different sizes. What I found is that the cheaper the roll, the bigger the tubing is, than if you say you bought one of the more softer rolls, then you'll get a smaller tube. So just measure your tube just to make sure that the measurements are correct, because as I say, they are different. So then you just need to adjust to either or. But my one here is 3 1/8 by 3 7/8. So because I didn't have enough toilet rolls, I went ahead and just made my own, like so. So this way you can have them any colour you want to, really. If you're using toilet rolls, I would suggest covering your whole roll with your pattern paper, and I'll show you as we go through what I mean. I'll give you the sort of the measurements for mine, so that way you end up with them. And it's always the way, I've got piles everywhere, and I thought I had one ready to show you, but in true Tamara fashion, oh, there we go, they go missing. So this is what I've ones that I've done so far, but I'm going to do a brand new one. So this is my toilet roll flattener. As you can see, they're really sturdy inside, and you would not know that was a toilet roll at all. I'm just going to move it up a little bit because I feel as though, there we go. So you wouldn't know that was that. So I've actually covered the whole of the roll in like a paper wrap. But if you don't want to, and you want to just cover the front and the back with 2 separate pieces of paper, you can do. I think I'm going to go with the wrap method because I really like that. So what we'll need to do, so you'll need to cut out 6 of this measurement here. Hello everybody. If I don't see that you're here, it's because my comments aren't coming up very quickly, so I do apologise, but welcome to everybody. I can see Claire's here. Hi Claire, lovely of you to join me. And Savannah, how are you? I hope you're okay. So the measurements for the faux toilet roll that I've got here, now this is, let me get a nicer ruler. So this is 7 inches. I know it says just below, but it is, I cut it at 7 inches, and you then cut it, then it's at 3 7/8. Okay, what you're going to need to do is get your trimmer, and I then scored at 3 1/4 coming down here. Okay, and I scored it, and then what I did is I folded that over like so, and then come up here and then scored at 1/2 inch down there. Now you may see that mine is a little shorter. That's because I've just taken off a 1/8 inch smidge, just so that my side would close over without causing any bowing in my work. So that's what I've done so far. Now what you can do then is, if you want to, is run them through your die cutting machine again, but I'm just going to use my bone folder just to really crease them score lines like so. I've just noticed they're not quite level, but never mind. So I've done 5, and I've got one here that I can go through with you again. So I don't need that open. So if you're working with craft card, then my craft card has got 2 different sides. So you've got a darker side and a lighter side. Now this comes from Anna Marie Designs. I've had it for years. It was the only craft card that I would ever use, because it's really good quality card. I'm not sure if she still does it, because I say I bought in bulk years ago and I've still got tons left, so I've not had to buy any for a while. But this is about, I think it's about 300 GSM. It may be a little bit more, but that's what I think from memory, what I can remember. So I've cut mine down to my 3 7/8 by 7, and then I'm going to score this in half at 3 1/4, like so. Oh, hi Sue, how are you? Oh, I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me today. So what I've done is we'll go through that again. So I've scored me at my 3 1/4. I've just folded that quarter up, so my longest measurement is actually sitting onto my trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to score that at 1/2 inch. I'm going to just pull that open and then score that at 1/2, like so. Now if you can see, I will go just over that scored line. I don't know if you can see it, that's the scored line. If I go over it, so that's where I just cut off that smidge. It's not to say that we've cut it wrong. What it is that we've got so much bulk that coming right up here, that when we come to fold that flap over, it won't fold nicely. So if you want to go ahead and do 6 of those, if you're crafting along with me, and while you're doing that, what I'll do is in the chat I will just put up the measurements so that you can see what we're doing. So it's 7 inches by 3 7/8, and score at, let me just score at 3 1/4, and fold and score at 1/2. I hope you can understand that. So you've got it there if you need to come back to it. So I'm just going to bone folder these just to create some nice crisp creases. Now my right side is going to be the darker of the craft. I actually prefer that to the lighter side, but we all are all different. There we go. And this last one, I've got 2 more. And then we're going to actually put this together using the paper method, so the wrap method. Now I'm doing that way because I'm using craft card, and craft card, I haven't got any foundation tape that is craft as of yet, so I didn't really want to put my black foundation tape on it, so I thought that if we use the paper method, it also gives you another skill of how to put books together if you're new and you've not done that yet. It is quite easy. My way is quite easy to do, so don't worry too much. As long as you've got a ruler and a pencil and some double-sided tape and your PVA glue, you should be set to do this. So I'm going to move that out there, move them over there. Okay, so I'm all done. Now before I put this together, I'm actually going to cut out my paper. Now I haven't tried this, but I want to give myself a little notch out of my card here. But what I'll need to do is, if I'm going to do the wraparound method, I'll need to stick that onto this your front first, and then we can hole punch our notch out, because once that's sort of joined, you won't be able to get your punch in to get the notch. So for the pattern paper method, I'll do the two and then you can see which one you like the best. So if I'm actually going to do the wraparound, what I might do is I'm going to go, first of all, you can either go no, I'm going to actually cover the whole lot for this one. So I'm going to cut my pattern paper at 3 and 7/8, and I'm going to leave this measurement here. So I'm going to work with the Alice papers from, so it's Alice's Tea Party from Stampier, and not from Graphic 45. And it's just, as I say, these are just oddments that I've had left, because I bought quite a few of these sheets, and I've just seen in here that I've actually got, I thought I had more Alice in here, but I haven't. I've got another, I've got this old Little Darlings collection, so that should be in there. So move that out the way. Oh, I thought I had more Alice than I did. Never mind. So I've got quite a few in there, but we'll use the patterns and solids. Now I keep all my paper pads in these Ziploc grip seal bags. These are just bigger than 12 by 12, and as soon as I've opened a pack of paper, I'll get one of these out and then put them in, put all my pattern paper, even all the oddments and the scraps go into this, and it all keeps them all secure and in the same place, because I was forever losing them. So let me go with, let's go with that one. I like that one. So I hope everybody can see okay. I'll just move that up a little bit. I've got my comfy clothes on today. So we said, so I'm going to have my pages going landscape way. So they're going to be this way and sit in my book. So they open that way. So I'm going to do this here as my, so it's going to be that, hold on, no, it's going to be this way. I get myself confused now. So this way. So if they go that way, so what I need to do is cut my pages at 3 7/8, but I'm going up this way. So 3 7/8, like so. Just double checking, yes. Right. The only thing you have to think of on this, if you're doing it this way, is that if you've got any text, when you fold it over, the text is going to be upside down on the other side. So just bear that in mind. But I will do it like that because it's not really going to make too much difference. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to line it up with the edges. So I'm going to line it up with my scored edge here, and I'm just going to fold it over like so. That then's going to give me my fold line. Now you can measure this, but I find this way is a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to burnish that down. So that goes on like that. Okay. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of a glue tab. Okay, so the glue tab I'm going to give, so let me put this in here like so and move that out. So I'm going to go with, so this is, oh, that's good, 3 1/4, the same as that. I'm actually going to go with up to 3 3/4 to give myself that extra glue tab. But what I'm going to do is just come up just a smidge, just past that 3 3/4 inch mark. So that then is going to allow for your fold over like so. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to use this line here from my page, so this line here as a guide, and then I'm just going to score that down, so like that. I'm going to turn that out and then score that over, and then that gives you your glue tab for gluing it all together. So what I would tend to do is put your glue tab, if you're using your cardstock, put that at the opposite end to where your glue tab is for your pattern paper. Okay, and then when that goes on, you can either put it underneath or over the top. Again, it's up to you how you do that, if you want to do it this way. So we'll finish that off. As I say, I'm not going to glue it in place just yet. I'm just going to just make sure it's all going to fit. it keeps slipping out. There we go. There we are. There, I've got it now. So then that is your one page covered. So you then need to work out which side you're going to do your no you don't, your notch out will be, if you have your page with your glue tab facing the inside score line here of your paper, then you will put your notch on the side that hasn't got the extra glue tab on. Okay, so it'll be this side. So if I just get here, so that side. If you're going to have it where your glue tab, I mean, you can have it like that. It's not going to really make too much difference. I just didn't know whether or not it would add any bulk to your piece. But on one end, I think it possibly will. So I don't think I can turn that around. No, it has to be that one, needs to be inside. Okay, it doesn't matter too much. I'm going to leave it at that, I think, because let me measure this. Okay, so let's stick it together, or stick our pages on, and then see where we can go from there. So if you're inking your cardstock, I would do that now. I'll just grab some ink and, oh, she says, oh, hi Marilyn, hi Carol. Oh, don't worry, no, we've only just started, so not too much. I have put the measurements in the comments there. If you want to make up your faux toilet roll, the measurements are there so that you can do that if you want to craft along. And I just need that. So let's have a look. So this is a nice colour. I do like brown distressing. I know I'm distressing that, but I'm not going to see that on craft card. It does look nice. There we go. Now I am going to also distress on the inside, because when you open your pocket, you'll hopefully just see that inside distress of the brown. There we go. Just do that side there as well. There we are. So let's start with that way. Did I get that right? Hang on just 1 second. I'm just getting myself sorted. So that is to go on the inside. There we go. I wanted this part here on the back side of my page, so I was just making sure. I'm just going to put on my little tiny mini fan. So I do apologise if you can hear a bit of whirring. It's getting a bit hot in here all of a sudden. There we go. So we've got it right. So I'm going to put it like that. So I'll put it that way, and then you can see how I'm going to do it. So turn that over. My glue is going to go on here, and then I'll put it like that. So let me do it and see. So let's put my glue. I will forget to put my lid back on, and I've been using this today. One second. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. I think I'm going to put my lid on a piece of string and tie it around my my glue gun, because I'm forever losing it. I know the you've got a little holder on the glue gun holder that you've got, but I never seem to use that. Right, hold on, let me just stick this in. Okay, I find that if you twirl it down rather than try and push it, it seems to unclog it better than if you were to just push it straight down. I've pushed it straight down before and I've ended up losing the little adapter. So it does take a little bit longer, but once you're there, you're there. There we go. Just pull it off slowly, and then you should pull off any, she says. I can see it is empty. Not empty, I can see it's coming. There we are. Now, I only filled this up the other day. Right. There we go. So, I'm going to glue my page. Okay, so I'm just doing the one side at the minute, but I'm going to do all of it. Okay, put quite a liberal amount of glue on, and then we can stick it on. So I'm going to go up to the scored line, like so. So you end up with it looking like that. So if I turn it over that way, you can see, like so. And then you can then bring this over. I'm not going to glue this bit just yet because we want to glue our, hold on, that goes in there. I think I've got that right. No. Right. Let me just have another go on this. I'm trying to do it whereas we can, right, see. No, that's not going to work neither. I think isn't that amazing? I got that all fitted, and now I've put glue on. It's decided, nope, I don't like that. Put it that way. So that works. That does glue down. So, right. So how I'm going to do it is I've folded my toilet roll. I'm going to call it that. So I folded that up, and the line that is the glue tab line, the scored line, is going to go up against the scored line of your paper. So let's try this one again. So it's going to be like that, and then this is going to go all the way over, like so. That's better. There we go. So fold that all down. Just move that up because I've not got that very central now. You thought I would have done that and it should have worked, but it didn't. There we go. Got it now. Excellent. So with that like that, so then you know that that's going to fold over, and then you're going to fold your page over it. Now I want this side as my front, so side A, and side B is going to be the one with my extra glue tab on. Now what you could have done if you wanted to is put that inside, but I'm going to have it on the outside because once you cover this you're not going to see it. So let's just open that out again and I can find out which is the side. So this is the side here that I want to have my notch out of, so it's this side. Okay, my notch is going to go out of here, so I'm going to turn that over and just put an arrow. and then I've just add a little notch so I know that that's where my notch is. So I'm going to just measure this. So this is, I'm going to measure to my scored line, okay, which is here, of my paper, and that is your 3 1/4. So my halfway mark will be 1 5/8. Okay, so I'm just going to do there 1 5/8 is there. Just check, yes. But I'm going to come down because my little punch is, I'm going to come down to 1 3/8, just there, because my little punch has got a line here, and I'm going to just use that as my center guide. So I'm going to push that down, just double check again to make sure I've got that right, and I'll go upwards. There we are. So I can just push that on, find where you want it, and then punch that out. Okay, and then you can fold that over, and I've punched the wrong one. Isn't that always the way? Right, this will be just my what's it one. This will be my test one. I always do that. Never mind. So I'll just cover this bit in. So I'll just glue this bit. Right. And then I'll just push that down. You won't notice, because what I'll do now is I'll put a border along there, and then you won't be able to see it. Then as you move over, unfortunately it will be upside down on the back, but it's not going to make too much difference. So a border will go along there so that you can't see my join. So that's one way. The other way may be a little bit easier, and that is where you can then see your craft card. Oh, hi Amanda, hello from Australia. Oh, I'm glad that you can join me all the way from down under. I hope you're having a lovely day. Oh, hi Sue, good afternoon, thank you again for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this little, just very, very easy crafting afternoon. I love crafting on a Sunday, so it's nice to have your company as well. So I'm just going to ink my edges on this, and then we'll cut this one out, and then you can see which one you like the best, and then we can go from there. You can do either or, you can do one of each. It's really, it's your album, so you can do whatever you like. And so I'm just going to ink those edges, and then I'm going to cut out my piece of paper for the front here. So I'm only going to do 2. So I'm going to cut this one at 3 1/8 by 3 3/4. Okay, that way. So I've just put that on there so I know what orientation to use. So I want my 3 1/8 this way. I'm just using the same paper just so that it don't waste any more. And then this one is your 3 3/4, like so. So then that is your sheet of paper for that. And I actually quite like this way better than the other, but you might be different. I like to give you some options to choose. So I'm just going to ink the edges here, and then I will stick this bit on. So this way I can stick it on now here, like so. Make sure I've got this the right way this time. I suppose as well, doing it this way is you can guarantee that all your script or writing is going to be up the same way. So just give me a second. Now I will say I love this glue gun, really do, but you unclog it and then you may get a little tiny bit that will come out, and then you have to unclog it again. And I like to try. There we go. I'll leave that on there for a second, and then if it doesn't work I'll put a new one in. Right, so let's get the next one. So that's going to be exactly the same measurements. So I can use this one that I've got here, and then this is 3 3/4. Oh, and that's, look at that, that's actually caught that it's always tea time right in the middle there. So I couldn't have done that if I'd have tried. I love happy little accidents. There we go. So I'm going to make sure I turn that over, and then this will go on the back, but I'm not going to stick it on just yet because we need to put our little notch in. So my notch is going to come out of this side, and I know for a fact now that that's where it's going to come out. So 1 5/8 is my center. I'm just going to come down to 1 3/8, and then just, yes, it is the right way. Okay, just find the center there and then notch out. If you haven't got one of these notch punch tools, you can use a small circle punch. That works really, really well as well. Now the only thing is because I haven't got another one of these that gives you matte and layer, it will not give you that matte and layer feeling. But if you then ink your edge just around it, it will give you that illusion that you have got some craft card underneath there. So if you want to just ink the back there. Now another thing, if you want to do, you could cover the back with maybe a contrasting colour. So you could just put some pattern paper just in the back, but just up to that part there, say. But when you put your tags in, it's not going to show. But again, it's up to you. It gives you an idea. So now we can just we can just glue this down like so. I'm just going to push that down. If it needs a little bit more glue, then you could either put some double-sided tape on and then glue, but this seems to have got quite stuck quite quickly. And then just add the glue around the outside. Now I must have something that's just stuck in there. I'm just going to push this out, see if I can get the blockage out. What does everybody else do to get their blockages out of their glue? I try to put the glue on as much, the lid on as much as I can, but I do forget. There. So now it'll work fine for a little while, and then it'll get stuck again. Maybe if I kept it upright, that might work. Oh, hi Sarah. That's fine. I'm glad you're here. It'd be nice to see you again. Loved your photographs from yesterday. So I'm just going to stick this on like so. So that then, just making sure I've got them up the right way. I actually prefer doing that than I do that. But again, that is however you want to do it. So I'm just going to carry on and do them. I'm going to do them this size and not like that, because I prefer that. I think that one looks a lot nicer. I think if you were going to use your toilet paper rolls, then I would cover them in your pattern paper. But because I'm using cardstock, I think it lends itself more to be just the cutout of your matten layer for your page. So I'm going to do mine like that and come down and just pick some more paper. So let's have a look. I might have to do one more, and let's have a look. Let's go with that one, and I'll go with that. I do love this pattern paper. I really, really do. I might, if I've got two of those, because I might use that for my outside. I've only got one. Okay, not to worry. I think I might have another one of these. Yeah, right, okay, that's okay. I'll use these. So, I think I've only got one of those as well. That's the thing, is you look and then you think, oh, I can't actually cut into that because that's got that on the back. So, right, I'll use that one, I think. So we're going to go with, what I'm going to do is cut two at once. So we've got extra. So we go with 3 3/4, I think. No, yeah, 3 1/8. Nearly did it wrong. 3 1/8. Like so. Come on now. I think it's because it's graphic 45, I do not want to go wrong. So 3 1/8. 3 1/8. There we go. Now I'm going to cut one out at once. It's not, for some reason, it's not lining up with my edge here, so just to be on the safe side, I'll cut one at once. So that was 3 1/8 by 3 3/4. That's 1, 2. You could get 3 out of 1, and 3 out of 1 cut. And then this one will be 3 1/8. I bet it was very emotional. She looked beautiful, Sarah, I have to say. I actually thought she was a model. She was stunning. She really was. Oh, hi, Hope. Thank you for joining me. Oh, lovely. I'm glad that you have joined us all the way from New Jersey. Is that right? yeah, it's lovely to have you here. So, and then there we go. So I've got a couple there. I'm hoping I've got enough. If I haven't, I will do some more in a minute. I'll get my skates on for where my pieces are. There we are. So I need to do one more, which is that. Right, I'm just going to add my distress ink. Now this one is really, really dark. This is just one I've had. I've had these Harmonies by Spectrum Noir for years, and I've only just opened it to use them. I think we've all got so many inks and things that sometimes we just buy them and don't have time to actually open them and use them. So I've thought that this year I'm going to use all the products that I haven't necessarily used for a while. So just adding my distressing just around there. Good, New Jersey, yes, lovely. I have to say, I do love the accent that from New Jersey, New York, around there. I really love it. It's a lovely accent, I have to say. It's one of my favourites. And you go around and it always amazes me, different people's accents from where they live. It's just amazing. We all speak the same language, but we all say different things in different ways. So what's everybody doing this afternoon? Are you crafting along with me? Are you making this tag book? I'm just inking my things as we're going through. It shouldn't take too long. Once I've got this bit done, we'll get on and do the album. And the album is quite straightforward. If you haven't done a wraparound album before, don't worry, it is really easy. The main thing is if you do a wraparound, is just making sure you've got enough gap in between your where you've got your joins. So I've got two more. I'm going to do, well actually what I'll do is I won't bother doing the last one. I'll just carry on doing these. So I just need to, I'm sorry, I end up doing it here, and I mean it is just boring distressing. There we are. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do 5 and then we can go from there. So now it's just distressing these. Now another nice thing that you could do is to get your sewing machine out and sew your edges as well. I keep meaning to do that. That is my job for next week. Is I want to find a place where I can, my sewing machine is more accessible, because I've got a sewing machine that I did actually buy just for sewing on paper, and I think it's probably seen about 10 pieces of paper since I've had it. Oh, hello Teresa, thank you, bonjour. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're fine and well. And the weather is lovely and warm, but everybody's nice and cool, crafting away. Our weather here in the UK at the minute is a bit overcast. It's a bit muggy, but it is a bit say overcasty, which is not too bad, so it's a bit cooler than it has been. Right, so I'm actually going to do my sheets where I alternate them like so. So I'm going to make sure, so this is my notch like that, so we can add the glue. Hopefully it's still there and not decided to dry up on me. So that's my first one, like so, and then my second one. So I'm putting my pattern paper for my front page, so for side A, with the glue tab facing away from you. Now I could actually use the other side of this as well, I've just seen, which I think I might do on some of them. So I'm just adding these in. And this last one, I'll use this side here. Yes, hi Lisa, yes, I love this paper as well, it's gorgeous. I'm going to use the flowers on the other side. Now you wouldn't think, I did fill my bottle up, but it's deciding to not play ball today. So alright, I've only got 3 here, 3, 4 here, so I might need to do a few more of the back pages, but just make sure I'm getting it right. So that folds over, so it'd be that way. But no, I can't do that yet, can I? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we'll cut the notches out first of these. So it's going to be this side here. So let me just do my thing. And so it's 1 5/8, and then come down to 1 3/8. Well, I need to come down to 1 3/8, but if you've got a different punch that you're going to use, so just make sure I've got that the right side. Yes, and this side here, so turn that round, and that is 1 3/8, and then 1 5/8 and 1 3/8, and then it's that side. So 1 3/8 there, and then I come across, and it is 1 5/8, which is there. One more. Oh, I need one more. So I thought I had one more extra. I'll just use this on this side. You might want to add just that little bit more wherever your notch is going, so that you don't get any of your paper lifting up. Like so, and it's that side. So 1 3/8 come down, and then across 1 5/8 is there. Okay, then you can just notch them out, and again, you don't have to notch if you don't want to. You could also use a envelope punch board to do this. I have done that in the past. Maybe next week that's what we'll do. I might do a little live on that. So there we go. So that's my notches. Now you could keep these as well, actually. I've just thought of that. And you could have put them in the back there, like so. So it looks like they, if you wanted to, and then it gets them used. So just ink that little notch there. And then it will give you that illusion that you've got your cardstock showing through. Okay, so that's your notches done. One more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's my 5th one. I should have 6, but I'll do the 6th one at a later date. So now what we need to do is close these up, and then we can put our pattern paper on the top. So now I have put the measurements of how to of your faux toilet rolls in the chat. So if you look up, just go up near enough at the top, they're in there. So just adding the glue to the glue tab, closing that over. Now I may switch to another glue bottle in a minute. There we go. Sorry, I went a bit quiet there. The colour that I'm using is a brown. It's this one, Lisa. So it is Fire Brown. It's a Spectrum Noir one. I think they must still do these. As I say, I bought these probably 5 years ago when they first came out. I bought these, and they've been in my cupboard because I needed some space for something else. They went into a cupboard. So some of them are brand new, have not been opened. And the same as this one, I've opened this one this morning and it's still really juicy. So it does go to show how long they actually keep. I think they actually keep longer than paints, but in my experience anyway. There we go. So that's the last one, hopefully stuck down. And then I can stick the pattern paper on the back. Now because this is not a directional paper, it doesn't matter how I put it down. But if you were to use the directional paper, just check which orientation your paper on the front is. So you would turn it that way. So I'm just going to see if I can do anything about this glue. Now I did fill it up, so I know it's full. Like so. Let me see if I can get it a bit more if I squeeze it myself. Let's see. And then all of a sudden it will just unblock, so it's really, really odd. I don't know if anybody else has had that same experience, or is it just me? Just me. So see, look, it stopped again. It's so weird. is I'll use something else, and let me just stick this back in here. There we go. Stick that up there. I think that's all of my sheets that I've got cut out. So I'll just cut a few more. So we did 3 1/8 by 3 3/4, and I may just do one of these as well. So 3 1/8 by 3 3/4. There we go. I think that was the last two. Now, if you didn't want to make them into little pockets, you could make a lovely little flap that went over the top and had them as like little policy holders, so you don't need to use them as pockets. So it is lots of things you can do with this. Even if you're using your the toilet rolls, you can do that. Just add a flap. There we go. Have I got that the right? Yes, I did. So that's my 5, but you'll have 6. But 1 2 3 4 5. So what I'll do is I'm going to put that one at the back, and then they'll open that way. So that's what they're going to open like. But I may change at the back, but that's fine for the minute. Okay, so now for the album. Now the album is really simple. Now the only thing I haven't got, which I'll just have to quickly just go and grab, is my craft card. But before I do that, I am going to cut my grey board. So when I cut grey board, I change my blade out to one that is old, because grey board will blunt your blade. So never ever use a brand new blade, because you'll only use it the once, especially if you're then cutting grey board. So the grey board that I'm just using today is 1.5 mil thickness in grey board, so that isn't it's easy enough to cut on your trimmers. You will need to maybe just give it a break, and then I just use a nail file just to file off any of the fluffy bits that you have that's left on there. So for the grey board, you'll need to cut 2 of this size, which is your back and your front, and that's at 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go with 4 inches. We'll come this way actually, 4 inches. I kind of go in a few times just to really get that done, and then you just need to click it, and it will eventually just break. So as you can see, you have got these fluffy bits, but they are really easy just to come off with a nail file, or if you've got a sanding block or something like that, just fluff them off, and then you get nice straight edge. You can see there. So I'll do that with this side as well, because I'm going to keep this side. So let me just give this at 4. I don't know why I did that now, because I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go 4. So I've got my straight edge here. so. There we go. And then just fluff them off. Okay, I'm going to use this one first. And then you're going to do your 5 1/4 with this piece. So 5 1/4, so you should get your 2 pieces out of one cut. I'll come up here and do my 5 1/4. Now as you can see, I've just turned it round so that my actual edge, the straightest edge of the grey board, I'm using as my measurement, just so that I've got that on there rather than having a cut edge. So it's like so. So that's your 2 pieces. I will come and do that in a second, for your front and your back. Then you need to do 2 spines, and they're going to be 3 3/4 by 4. So we've actually cut our 3 3/4 with this one already. Sorry, we've actually cut our 4-inch one with this one already. So we're going to come along here and do the 1 3/4, and then come along and do the next one. I'm just going to so 1 3/4 there, and just take that off, and then we'll just, so that's your front and your back and your 2 spines. Now the next thing you need to do is the little flap, which is going to go over to close everything all together, and that's going to be, that can be whatever you want it to be. So you could have it where it is halfway down, like I've done with this one. You can have it where it comes right down to the bottom if you want to, or you can have it where it's a little bit smaller and you haven't got that much of a gap either way. I'm going to keep it like that because what I want to do with mine is add a metal closure on here. But what I'm going to have to do is just add an extra piece here, but when we come to that I will go through that. So for my closure, I've got mine at 2 5/8, and that's by 4, but because I've obviously done that already, 2 5/8 by 4, that's my closure. So I'm going to just file off all those fluffy bits so I get a nice straight edge. And I've done that one, now this one, and I've only used 1 sheet of grey board, so it is quite a nice book to do. And so far I've probably only used 2 sheets of 12 by 12 of your pattern paper. Probably if I said at most 3 sheets so far of your cardstock. And that's just off the top of my head. So if you bear with me just a second, I am just going to pop and get my craft card, which is just in the kitchen. Now I've got the craft card that I've got is a big one. It's a whopper. It is 12 inches by 24 inches. It's a really big size, so I will need to just cut it down. But if you bear with me a second, I'll pop and get it. I won't be a second. I'll run or hobble. Okay, I'm back. Right, so as you can see, it's a really, really long piece, but I'm going to cut it down to 12 inches only because it's that long. I can't get it all through my trimmer if it's that side. So I'm going to move some space. I've got a little space here. I'll move those over there. There we go. So I'm going to go with 12 inches. Like so, and then that should give me two 12 inch pieces. Now you can do this with your A4 as well, so don't think you have to have this. Now I want to have an inch either side of my grey board so that I've got something to fold over. So my grey board measurement, I'll just double check here, was 4 inches. So this here is 4 inches here. So 4 inches. So I need to cut this at 6. Excuse me, to allow that 1 inch and 1 inch. Okay. So I cut them together so that I end up having my sheets are going to line up. Now if I'm going too fast, then please do say slow down if you're crafting with me. I can do. I'm trying to just, you know, help make sure that I'm getting through it, and we can at least get something finished today. So I've got a little bend on my sheet here. I don't want that, so I'm going to push that to the back so I can cut that off. So I've lined them up. So I'm level here, and obviously I'm level on my trimmer. I'm going to cut these at 6. I'll just double check. 4, 5, 6. Yes, that gives me my 1 inch. So as I say, I'm cutting them both at the same time. Now I am going to get a bit of fluffiness because I haven't changed my blade yet. But that's not too bad actually. Right, so let me just take that out and put my blade back in. You can see what I've done with it. So what I'll do is I'll just grab a new one, and I will put on there. Oh, I see it now. As I've opened a new one, I see it. Now, as I've got two same blades here, I will just add a dot on my grey board one here, so that I know that this one is for grey board. Okay, let's put that over there. And then that is it back in there, like so. So put that to the side for the minute. Okay, so now you've got your two pieces that you've cut out, and I just move them down. Now as you can see, I've got my pages are virtually in line. I've cut them at roughly the same space. Might be a little bit out there, but not too much. Let's look at this side. Actually this side is a little better, so I'm going to go with this side. So I'm going to join these two together here. So just get my double-sided tape, grab a little drink, and double-sided tape. There we are, right in front of me. So with my double-sided tape, now this is just over 1/4 of an inch in depth, so I'm going to add it to one side. Make sure though, if you're using craft card and you have got two different colours, make sure you put the two colours the same side. So just adding my double-sided tape there. I'm going to just cut it off at the top there, and I'll burnish this down really well, like so. we can take it off. Now I will add a little bit of glue as well. I wonder if it's because it's so warm today that my glue keeps seizing up. Now I'm going to put one on top of the other like so. So now I'm going to use the double-sided tape as my guide. So where that ends is where my join is going to end. But because I've got that glue on there, it's giving me a little bit of wiggle time, just so that I can get it exactly in the place I want. So once you're happy, just burnish that down. Okay, and then you've got two pieces joined together. Right, so this is going to be my right side and this is my wrong side. So this is where it's really easy. If you've got a Tim Holtz ruler, or if you've got a quilting ruler or something like that, or a ruler where you can just see quickly your measurement, I just use this and I'm going to cut this down to, I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut it down, I beg your pardon. I'm going to measure at 1 inch and I'm just going to measure along the bottom. Okay, don't worry about the top or the sides just yet. Now I find this the easiest way to do it for me, so I can get this join line in the center of my project. Now if I was doing this where I just had a spine and two covers, I would put my spine in the middle here and then work outwards. Okay, but because I'm doing it, we've got the back is going to be is the longer piece, then I'm going to use the back as my join in the center. So I'm just picking up something here, just so that I can use them somewhere. I've got one. Hold on. Let's see if I've got another one in here. I did have loads and they've just disappeared. If not, I'll come back and get one. Not a problem. Right, okay. I'll do that in a second. Okay, so with this in the middle, so we're going to use our backboard, so one of our back pieces. I'm just going to measure the size of this. Now this should be, what did I say, 5 1/4. So how come that is not 5 1/4? It's because that's not the right piece. This piece. Yes, so 5 1/4, 5 1/4. There we go. So this is going to be cut down to 2 5/8. That's my center. Okay, so I'm just going to come up there. Now you don't want the center of the inside join. You want the center of the outside. So I'm just going to find where that is, which is roughly about there. We just want a rough guide. So that is going to be my center of where I'm going to place my back onto my craft card. But I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, and again, this is just by eye in a sense, just to make sure that it is in that same vicinity. So I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to leave my back piece so that it's on my 1 inch line here, like so. Okay, and I'm going to use my double-sided tape just along the bottom. And then I'm going to put lots of glue on here. Okay, Okay, the double-sided tape is just so that we can still keep working with it, and it's not going to move as we start to fold and bend and do all those sorts of things. So I'm just going to burnish that bit down. Take the backing off and then add our glue. So again, just line it up with that line, like so. I think that's about right. And then when you're happy, just burnish that down. And then what I need to just go and do now, because I can't find any of my other gap guides, is just pop and get one. And while I do that, that's going to just set up. Just check if I've got any in this drawer. Right, 2 sets. Here we go, I'm back. Right, I've just had to find them quickly. So these are available in my shop if you want them, and they are sized perfectly to give you a perfect gap in between your backs and your spines, so that you don't get any cracking. So I'm just going to add that there and this here. Like so. And we can then add our next piece, which will be the spine. We've got the spine that goes on there like so. Okay. And then we'll have a spine this side, and then we'll have the closure. Okay. No, we won't. Beg your pardon. So we have a spine, then we'll have that, and then we'll have the closure on like so. So we're just going to go ahead and stick this down. Again, I'm just going to add a bit of double-sided tape just to the bottom. Now this is the easiest way I've found. I mean, I've made loads and loads of books, and there's lots of different ways out there on how to wrap your books and do your books, and every single one of them is correct. This is just how I put mine together. I find it the easiest. I like to maybe make it as simple as possible so that it is, you know, easy for everybody to do. But also it's, if something is too hard, you're not going to do it. So if you can find something that you can do in twice the time, you are going to do it. So just taking my double-sided tape off one of my spines. Just add my glue, and again just liberally put the glue on there, and I also put it over the double-sided tape as well. So add this down in, so like so. So that's that side. I'm going to work on this side now because I'm there. And add your glue. Now I've add lots and lots. And just move your gap guides over. There we go. Now this one has got a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 of an inch gap, so you can make bigger joins if you want, like so. Now I should have about 1 inch left here, but we will have a check in just a minute. I've got enough to turn over anyway, so I'm going to come and do this side and do my spine. And again, lots of glue. Push it down. Also as well, it makes you, when you've used these like this, well, when you get the right size in there tomorrow, it also makes your pieces line up as well. So put that in there. Like so, and I will give these a good burnish down in just a minute. And then we put the flap on, our closure flap that goes on the top. And let's just take this off. And add your glue. Push that down. Okay, so that is your basic wrap done. Now we've got all this space here, so we want to cut this down. So again, I'm just going to cut this down to 1 inch. So I'm just going to use my ruler, just mark down 1, and I'm just going to check here. So this is just a bit bigger than 1, so I'm going to cut that off as well. Now you can use your trimmer, but I find it just as easy to use my scissors. I can find what I've done it with them. I should call myself Find It Sally, because I never seem to find anything. Right, so I'll just use these ones. And just cut down on your line. I've got some Spellbinders scissors and they are really, really good. And I just tend to use them for things like this, but they're not there. They've got, whereas these have got a little bit of a serrated edge, the new Spellbinders ones haven't. They give you a very smooth finish, so, and they're bigger, but I've made a bit of an error there, but don't worry, I'm just going to cut that down. You don't even need to do this, but because I can see it, I'm just going to cut that off so it gives me a straighter edge. So once you're at that stage, you then need to cut your corners. Now you can cut them down just using your craft knife. I tend to just use one of these spacers here that give you a perfect angle. You can use a protractor to do this as well, but I tend to just use these, and like so, and then you can just trim that off. Now again, if you want to use your craft knife you can do, but I'm just going to trim that off. Now I'm going just below that penciled line, like so, coming round, okay, like so, and like so. Okay, so you've kind of created that. Now the next job is to edge it with your tape. Now I edge with tape and also glue. Now the tape helps me it keep nice and secure for now, but then the glue will help it stick forever. Now I will show you a book later on that I've made using this very same technique, and it is still in perfect condition, and it's not none of the glue, none of it has warped or lifted or anything. So I always put glue, double-sided tape along the top excuse me, and I go with double-sided tape along my grey board as well, and I go all the way round, but I'm also going to add glue in between. Okay, so we're getting it stuck from all sides, because we really want this to stay stuck. Now you can as well upscale this and make this bigger, so you could do maybe a 6x4 book as well. They look really good. I've done those ones in the past as well. And you can add different things as your closures, so you could add magnets, you could add a metal clasp, which I might do later, a ribbon. There's lots of different things you can use. So doing that, I'm going to take it off. Now when I'm wrapping, I always do my long sides first and leave my shorts till afterwards. Okay, it's just always, I've always done it that way. It seems to work out a lot better if you do it that way rather than do the shorts next. So once I've done that, what I'm going to do is just run my bone folder just down the edge, and all I'm doing is stretching the fibres so that the cardstock is going to fold a lot easier, because we need it to fold over. So add your glue, and again lots of glue on here because we don't want it to lift, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to bend away from me. Okay, so I'm going to bend it using the table as a guide. I'm just going to very gently bend it over. Okay, so I've started to bend it, and then I'm going to move it over that way so that I can sort of, you can see. Move that out there, and just using your finger, just bend that over. You will eventually get it to stick. Yeah, this is quite thick cardstock, so once you're there, just come along and kind of inch it over as we go. Just trying to get all the air bubbles out. There we are. You will have glue that comes off the other end, but that's okay. It means that you've stretched all the glue and you've spread it all the way along. Okay, like so. So that's one side. So let's do the same with this. So off and off, and then your glue. And glue along that glue tab. I will put a little bit on here, like so. Okay, using your table, just inch that over just to give it a, what I didn't do here, no, yes I did, is just did those fibres, but I think I've actually got that okay. So I might just bend that over and do it that way. So I think we've got it down. If not, you see here I've got a little crease. I don't know if you can see that there. I was a bit too quick on that. I should have waited, but I can iron that out. There we go. Okay. So what I also like to do with this is I like to run my Teflon tool bone folder just along the edge, like so, to give my album a squarer look, and it also sticks the glue, any glue that you may have that's seeped out, it will stick it to the edge as well. I'm going to do this side. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, you can just leave it rounded. And I say I don't do it all the time, but I do it most of the time. So again, I'm just gonna go round just to get those creases a little bit more sharper. There we are, along there. There we are. The time, if you take your time in doing this stage, your book will stay glued together for a very, very long time. So I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm just going to move where I've got some sticky out pieces here. Now I have, let me see if I can show you on this side. So you can see here where the card is taller than my grey board. So if I had to fold that over, you would get like a pocket fold. But to stop that, all I'm doing is I'm just going to push them sides in. So I'm just going to push those corners into the tab here. So I'm just going to push them over like so, and then when you push this down, come to stick it down, it will give you a very neat join, sorry, neat finish. So add the glue like so, and then ease that over. Now, there we are. Okay, just push that down a little bit more. There we are. So that's my one side, and then the last one, and then we've nearly finished this book. There we are. Now add a bit more on there. A bit stingy now. Push that over, and then push that down. Okay, and then if you just need to just smooth or flatten that corner, then just go along with your tool and just do that. So that then is your book. Okay, and then you can see this is going to be in the center. So we need now to fold it so that we create our hinges or our joins. So I tend to use my ruler. You can use your bone folder as well, and I tend to go, I'm going to go from this side actually. So I'm going to just use my bone folder, and I'm going to just come up and use this as a resist and push it up, and that way I'm going to create a fold, a join. As you can see there, it's nice, a nice join. Okay, but I might use my ruler. I think that might give me a better finish. So again, do that with the next one like so, and then come up and do this side, and all we're looking at is just to get some folds in there like so. Now because we've got that nice gap in between, you shouldn't get any cracking of your cardstock. I can't say that it doesn't happen. It does happen. With the best will in the world, it does happen all the time. So you just have to be very careful as you're bending them, and just to make sure that it stays, you know, firm. So what I'm just doing now is just coming along and I'm just burnishing out any of the creases so I get a nice straight join like that. But just be careful if you're doing this, because you don't want your tool to slip and go into that join. So just be careful as you're doing it. There we are, just flattening them out, and then here, and then that is your book finished. Now if you're going to add your magnets, you could do so. Now when you put your pattern paper on, put your magnets underneath, and then put your magnets on this side when you come to close it. But I think I'm going to leave it like that. Just checking here. Everything is okay. It is. Now I think, I'm hoping I didn't use the wrong one here. Oh, Tamara, what am I like? Right, you know what I've done? I've picked up the wrong one here. How did I do that? It's there. So I am going to be a little bit out. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Well, good job I've actually done one that I've got sooner. I've done already. So I can use this one. I don't know how I managed that. I should throw things away. I don't want to go ahead and redo it. Don't think I would get that off. Let's have a try, because if you then end up doing something like this, you can see whether or not you can peel it off. You might be okay. The only thing I might have is this bit here. Oh. No, that shouldn't be okay, because that would be there. Right, let's have a go. So, I just need to peel this side off. I've never done that before. Right, but if it doesn't work, I can just use that old one. But if it does, see, it happens to the best of us. There, I think. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to save this. No. Oh, I might. Let's try it. Let's see. No, I don't think I will. But I can just quickly redo it. It'd take me 2 seconds to redo that, I think. Right. I don't know how I managed to pick that up wrong. Oh. Right. Okay, not to worry. I think I'll have to redo it because this one I've made bigger. I've made this bigger than this. I wanted it to be that little bit more bigger. So I've got extras there. Let's see how quick I can do it. See, it does happen to the best of us. I think I was too busy chatting away. So the craft, the cardstock that I'm using, Lisa, is about 300 GSM. It's quite a heavy weight card that I've sort of got here. This is, I've had it for quite a while, so I'm not too sure if it might be 310 or 320, but I know it's in the 300s. As I say, it was a while ago when I bought it. If anybody else out there that shops in the UK, Anna Marie Crafts, Anna Marie Designs, and they can just share shed some light on that, just so that we know. But it's the best craft card that I've ever used. It doesn't crack, it doesn't split there. If you've got the right join in between, it won't split. It takes inks beautifully as well, and I'm going to throw that. It takes inks beautifully as well. So let me just take this down here. So this is 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. This is going to be speed crafting, and this is 2 3/8, 2 5/8. Let me grab this. And I'm going to throw the rest of them away, then I'm not going to be tempted to pick them up by mistake. That way. There we are. Trust me to have a major mess up. But I think if I was, I should have just thrown it away in the bin, but never mind. It's been done. But luckily I've got some paper here still, which is my 6 inches, so I can just reuse that and get my tape and we'll put that on. It's now going to show you how quick I can get a new one on. So make sure I've got the right sides together. Okay, that's one. So let's put this down like that. Okay. Now with this, I'm not going to put my double-sided tape down because I'll just use the glue. So this is 2 5/8, which is there, and that is roughly there. As I say, I'm just doing it roughly. Right, get these in right. So that's the same size. We're there. So that, I'll come along here and do this one. 5 minutes, I think I can get this done. Oh, yes, that. On there. So, lesson, please check to make sure you've got the right pieces. There we go. I'm going to say I'm an amateur. sort of a rookie mistake. These things happen. I sometimes feel that when I'm sort of crafting, if I've got, I think if you've got something on your mind that, you know, in your life, because we've all got things going on in our lives and stuff, so it does affect your craft, but it affects my crafting definitely. So I think when you think of them, you're crafting along and you can forget about them for a little while, but then they tend to just creep back in now and again. So it's good just to get on and just, you know, try and just enjoy your crafting as much as possible. I'm just bending those over. I know I haven't cut my things out yet, but I'll do that now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are. Right, so I'm back to this stage and they are all right, so I think I've got them in the right places. So I didn't know how long that took. Hopefully not too long. There we go. So I wonder what other massive errors like that people have done. As I say, it is just a cardstock at the end of the day. If I'd have done that with my pretty graphic 45 paper, I probably would have cried, but as it's just a bit of cardstock and some grey board, it's not too much. But again, it you know, you learn by these mistakes. Every day is a school day, so and sometimes it takes just as much time to just try and figure out a way around it than it does just to take them off and restart it again. There we go. So nearly done. So we just take that off and that off. There we go. I'm actually going to just take off the two sides, and then I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to do it this time just so that I can get rid of some time. So I've actually just put a line down the side there of that grey board so that when we fold it over, that's going to stick to the very edge. There we go. I'm just going to move that along. There we go. And then push it over. There we are. 2. And this side. Again, along that edge. Lots of glue. And glue will just help it stick now. Will help it stick for later. So, okay, we'll just come in along there and just push that down. Now, I would normally take a little more care, as you saw in the first one. There we go. Like so. And then just push these in like that. There we go. Along there. There we go. Push those down. and I've got some nice neat corners now as well, which is good. So the edges look nice and neat, and my angles here look quite nice as well. So just add that glue along there, glue in there, push that down. There we go. Okay, so back to where we was, near enough, and I'm just gonna add, just bring these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, that's better. There we go. That's a lot better now. It's more of a box than it was like that. So quickly just go along here, and then we can then think about doing our hinge mount and then our hinges. So the hinge mount is just going to go along and cover up our joins here. Okay, so straighten that out again. So we're going to have one here and one here, and they are going to measure 5 1/4 by 3 1/8. Okay, so you're going to do those out of your cardstock as well. Now I have got, she says, some extra here. So I'm going to do 5 3/4. Yes, 5 3/4. Sorry, 5 1/8. 3 1/8. Because that is the size of my toilet roll. So that's that size. That's going to go on there like so. And by 5 1/4. Okay. Maybe. So that's going to go there like so. And what's this one? That one, which is there, which is just a little bit shorter. I'm going to just use that because that's going to be covered, but you do yours at the 5 1/4 for both sides. Okay, but because I had that that bit of offcut, that's going to just stay on there because I will pattern over that anyway. So once you get them on, I'm just going to check out the spacing. I think I had 3/8 on either side, so let me just make a mark there at 3 inches, 3/8, and do the same there. So that's 1/4, 3/8 is there. Yes, so it's in the vicinity of 3/8, so it's a 3/8 of an inch gap between your top and your bottom and where your hinge mount is. So let me just rub them out just slightly so that I can still see them, but they're not as prominent. So it's going to go in between like so, and then we can add these in. So with this we need our double-sided tape. So this is the same as we use when we do when we put together our books using the foundation tape. It's the same sort of method, and it doesn't, when you put them down, what happens is doing it this way you don't get any gapping. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, sometimes it does, it's just the way maybe you've put it down, or it's not the tape has not adhered properly, but mostly I'd say 9 out of 10 times it will stay nice and flat to your surface. So it could also be if your tape isn't very sticky, it could happen as well, but I always add a little bit of glue as well just to help it along. take them off. So the glue tab, the backing tape comes off like so. Then we come off here. And there we go. So that's that off. So I'm going to add my glue, and again it's just going where the tape is, okay, like so, and again on here, just where tape is. I'm not putting any in the middle here. So line it up. So I'm just going to move it down here so that I can see, and line it up. Now I have got a tiny bit there of tape showing, so I'm just going to move that down like so. It doesn't matter how much you've got either sides of these, just as long as you've got some that covers. But what is important is that you try and make this as straight as possible. Push that in. Now before I curl that, I will add the other one. So the same principle on here. So might have a bit too much up there. And then around here, but I want to make sure I've got the right side. Just that side that needs to be out. So push this one on. Now I have got, oh yes, I know, I always seem to make mistakes. I think it's when I'm live, Claire, I think I get really nervous, and I think I'm getting a bit better, but I do get really nervous, and I think it's the nerves that don't do me any favours. But I like to make mistakes because we do learn from them, and it just shows that, you know, if you do make a mistake, you can put it right. It's not the end of the world. It just takes a little bit more time, and things can be sort of, I could have done something with that book if I'd have thought about it a bit more. I could have maybe changed what I was going to do, but I thought it was just as easy just to restart it again, and as it happens it didn't take that long. I think because this is a small book as well. I'm just going to add that along there like so. There we go. Now I'm going to try and just by eye this. This is not going to have any pages on it, so it doesn't matter too much, but if you want it in the same, that's it, that's fine. Okay, so that is then your hinge mounts on, and we just need to fold these over. Now I haven't given that enough time to set, but that's fine. I'm going to do this side as well. And turn that round and do this side. There we go. Now, just give that a burnish down. There we go, and you can see that's sort of held in place. This one might take a little bit more, but once you're there, you're there. There we go. Right. There we go. That's there. I've got a little bit of a crease there, but it is going to be covered, so you're not going to see that. There we are. And then that is your two sides done inside. Keep that down like so. Brilliant. I'm getting there now, slowly but surely. Right, this side, just going to come along with this edge of this tool just to straighten that join a little bit, like so. And this is just the rounded edge. You've got a rounded edge on this. Don't do it with a pointy edge because you'll go through it. Just very gently, just to create a bit more of a crease. There we go. And when that dries, that's going to be fine. Okay. So that is then your book. So the next thing we've got is the hinges. So again, use your offcuts. I would have had a bit more offcuts if I hadn't have gone wrong. Yeah, sometimes you're right, it does, Claire. Sometimes it does work out for the better. I've had loads of albums and projects that I've done, and I've started out one way and it's turned out completely different when I've actually finished the album, because I'll have something in mind, and then if it doesn't work out, then you then go and start something different. So I'm just going to have a quick drink. Okay, so our hinges. So for this, we've got 6 hinges, and we're going to start with hinge number 1, which is 2 3/4 by 3 1/8. Let me check that. So this is 3 1/8. Now go down there. Let me take this one off. Actually, that's cut okay. I'll leave that on there for the minute. By 2 3/4. Okay, so that's hinge 1. Just double check I've got that right. Yes. So I'm going to put a little arrow on that, so I know that that's the way I need to do to score it. So the next one is obviously 3 1/8 by 2 1/4. Let me just check I've got that the right way. So 2 1/4. So to go that way. It's better. Okay, and again, I'm just going to put an arrow there, and then we need the last one, which is 3 1/8 again by 1 3/4. Okay, and I'm not going to bother with that because I know that that's the way I'm going to have it. So I'm going to do my score lines now. So we're going to score at 3/4 on one side. We're going to turn it round and score 3/4 on the other. Now we should be left with a 1/4 inch gap in the middle. Okay, so that's your first hinge. The next one is we're going to score at 3/4 and at 1 inch. Turn it around and score at 3/4 and at 1 inch again. Now that should leave this 1/4 inch gap in the middle. Okay, I'll bring that up, you can see. there, just about. Maybe you can see better on the back. I'm hoping that is seen. There you go, just there you can see. It's a bit difficult with the craft card. So again, I'm going to come and do 3/4 on one, and then 1 inch. I'm going to turn it around and do 3/4 and a 1. Okay, like so. So what you'll end up with is lots of score lines, but we don't need to score all of them down because some of them are just guidelines. So I'm going to start with the hinge number 3, and I'm just going to score that one line over. So you've got one line on one side of the cardstock and one line on the other. So score that, and then just fold that over and score that down. So then you've ended up with one hinge. So the next one, do the same, but with this one you're only going to score, you're only going to fold over the last or the first 2 hinges. So this will be the first 3/4 inch score line that you did on both sides. Okay, so score them down. So that's your second one, and you're going to do the same with this one. Just score over or fold over that 3/4 of an inch score, like so. Now we'll just rub out these pencil marks, not that you're going to see them, but in case you do. So to put them together, your hinge 1 is the bottom one, which is the biggest. That's going to sit on our book. And then the hinge 2, now you will, where you've put your score lines, you will see that you have got and now an actual guide of where this goes, so you know this is going to go in that center. I've just noticed this is not the right size. 3 1/8, that's okay. This is smaller than. Oh, okay. 3 1/8. There we go. Right. 2 3/4. There we go. Right, that one and that one and that one, they're the same. Yeah. So this one here, sorry about that, I scored the wrong one. Well, I've normally scored it and then I've cut it by mistake, so that's not too bad. So there we go. Quickly just fold that over, fold that over. So you have got natural, that where you've put all those different scores, you have got then a score lines that you can then use as guides to put your next hinge on. So they'll go in like that. So it just makes it easier to find your gusset in between. Okay, so I'm going to just use my glue for this, and this is just going to go on the back. You can of course use your double-sided tape as well. I sometimes use both, but just for quickness today I'm going to just use the glue, and it is quite quick grab, so I'm just trying to find those score lines because they were quite faint that I did, but there we go, I've done it. So then burnish that down. There we go, just line them up from the top and the bottom as well. Okay, then you've got the next one, which is just going to fit again in between that scored line. Again, lots of glue, and then they fit in between, and then you'll find that you've then got your perfect gap in between. Now this cardstock is quite porous, so it does sometimes really eat into your glue and doesn't stick. So you just have to add a bit more. Go. Like so. Push that down. And again. So I'm just going to burnish those down just to get them nice and stuck. Okay, so that's then our little tiny hinges. So again, I like to, well, you need to mitre your corners on these because otherwise your pages won't fit on. Because these are the same width as the page, you need a little hill for it to slide onto. So I'm just mitering all them corners. Okay. Go like so. So that's then your corners done. So this is then going to fit on your page, sorry, on your book. Now I'm having mine, I'm going to put this on where you've got your hinge, your closure at this end, then you've got your one hinge mount, then you've got your backboard, and it's going on the other spine on the other side, like so. Now this is a lot bigger so that when you put your pages in, because we are going to put in some lovely tags and things, so you just need to get 1/4 of an inch gap either side. Now this ruler sometimes lies, so I'm hoping I've got that right. So I'm just putting 2 little lines just so that I've got a guide. There we go, like so, and then it will line up with your hinge mount. That's why it was so important that you got this straight, because this needs to be straight so that when you put your pages on, they're going to be straight. So again, lots of glue over the back there, and then I'm going to just line it up with the top and with the bottom. Keep going like so. Make sure I've got a nice gap either side, and then when you're happy, just really burnish that down. Okay, so I tend to try and move these backwards and forwards just to give them that bit more movement so that they're easier to fold when you've got your pages on. So just keeping them nice and scored and creased. I've just noticed there that needs to be just a bit more. There we go. So that is then that bit done. So you can now have, you can either decorate these up now or put them in. I'm going to put them in and then decorate them while they're on. That way we can at least finish some of it and then go from there. I think what I may do though is just, I don't know whether I want to put the little holes in like that. I think that looks really good, but I don't think I can find all of them. That one I may have found. No. That one might be one of the others. I think what I should have done is kept them. But what you can do is put some cardstock, sorry, pattern paper behind there, and I think it would look a lot better actually, if I'm being completely honest. I think that would look nicer. So you can go with just a plain, sort of like that. I might go with just a neutral colour, which will be good. So I'm going to cut this down to, I'm going to go with 2 inches. And then I'm going to go, and then it's going to be, I'm going to go with 3 inches as my width along, and then that's going to fit in just there like so, and then I think it looks a lot better. I might do that now before we stick them in. So I'm just going to ink the top edge. You can actually cut them down a bit more. Maybe go with 1 inch. Let's see what 1 inch looks like. It doesn't? It doesn't. Nope, 1 inch is fine. So you can cut them down to about 1 inch. So let's just add that on. You can use your tweezers for this, might be good, just to get that in a bit more. There we go. And then I will ink the back like so. So that's one. And then I might just use what I've got here just to use it up. Now I inked around all of that. There we go. It's gone quiet now. Now, as I say, I've only got 5 pages, but you will have 6. But I will do another one and add that in. But I'll just do this first. That one more. And just add this in. I know it's the same colour, but as I say, it used that last little bit up. I just noticed I put that upside down. There we go, add that on. And the last one, wait, that way. This one might be a bit too short. Oh no, it just works. There we are. There we go. So that's them all covered. And I think they look a lot better with that little hole in there. I think when you pull out your tag, it will look a lot better. So, to add them on, there's just what we do normally is just we're going to stick them on like so. I haven't stick these on yet because I'm gonna get my sheet pages in the right place. I think I'm going to go with those. I might have this one at the front because that's got the Queen of Hearts on, and I might put that there. Yeah, that looks good because when you turn over you've got 2 here and then 2 there and then 1 there, so that looks all right. So that's going to look like that, and so then when we open our book it's going to be like this rather than a stand-up one, but I will have another one in here. I just put this one in there just for the time being so that you can see that what it would look like with all of them ish. like so. And then you've got a little bit of space to add maybe a little tiny bit of embellishment on there, maybe some fussy cutting and stuff like that you can add. But for the tags, let me just measure. I think if we went with 3 by, let me just check this a minute. That goes on like that, because our tags are going to come out, and they're going to come out here. So I've got about 1 inch here, so we could have our tag at about, if we said 5, if I cut one at 5 and no extra sheets, bear with me, I'm just going to get some more craft card. I thought I had another sheet here. No. There we go, I've got one. So if we go with 3 by 5, that's what I said. And then if it's not that size, we can always cut it down. So 3 by 5. Okay. Just going to check this one. Right, so. Right, yeah, a bit big, so make this down to 4 3/4. Let's try that one. And I'm going to stick one in, and we can work on it that way. So I'm going to stick the back one in, and I'm going to stick this down here. So I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom. It's just going to be on that top edge, okay? And then you'll push this in, and this will just fit over the top, and then just line it up with your sides, and then burnish down like so. So that's your one. So then we can try this now. So push that over. So this needs to be a little bit shorter. So we go with 4 1/2. Now the reason I'm just trying it this way is because we've got this 3/4 of an inch hinge at the bottom here. So it's just making it a little bit more difficult. So that's the size, I think. Now if you wanted to put some ribbon in here, you'd need to make this shorter. So it is at the minute, so I'm just going to write on here so that I know for later, is so tags are 3 inches by, I think I said 4 1/2. I said 4 1/2, but I might go with 4 1/4, and then that gives us some space at the top to then add our ribbons. Now if you've got I was going to say ribbon die, if you had a tag die you could use it, but I like to just use my corner rounders. Now I have got one here. I've got one of this is the Vicen Creative, and this is really good. This gives you a nice decorative corner on both corners, like so. That one's not Didn't do right. That's better. There we go. And then I'll use my corner rounder, my normal one, on the bottom, like so. And then then you end up, you've got a ready-made tag. The only thing you have to do is add your hole in the middle. So this is going to be at 1.5. So that's going to be my center. 1.5. I'm going to come down here to 1/2 inch, where that is, and then you can just use your proper dowel just to add that hole, like so. And then that is your first tag, and you can just carry on doing that all the way along, and then you'll end up with a nice little book. So I'm going to carry on for just a little bit and just do a few more of these tags, just because I went wrong before. So I hope everybody's still with me and enjoying. Have you enjoyed this afternoon? Has it been quite informative? If you can give me some feedback, either if you want to message me or just write a comment on here, it'd be lovely, just so that I know how I'm doing. Oops, you don't get this in the right way, it tends to not do it properly, like so. So I'll add another piece. So let's go with 4.25, and then we'll go with the 3. Let's see how many I get out of this side. 1, 2, 3. Oh, just short. So 1 more, and then so 4.75. No, 4.25. 3. There we go, that's my ones. And I've got one here in case I go wrong. Yes, it is. It's really good, Lisa, to use all your scraps. As I say, this one here, the Alice one, is just what scraps I've had left. I've had a few of the sheets, but you can just use up all your scraps with it. I've probably used, if I'm really generous, 5 pattern paper sheets and 1 or 2 sheets of cardstock. Maybe 3 if you add in all the other little bits that you've got. So I'm going to go with, it was that one I used, wasn't it? Yeah. Just make sure that's right. I just need to check what it looks like when I from the bottom. That's 1, and then come up. Did I use that side? No, can't cut 2 with that. Just a bit too much. 1, 2, 2, and done those, and then I will add in, I think what I might do is not bother with the hole just yet and wait until I put my pattern paper on and then do the hole. So for the pattern paper, which I'm gonna grab another piece just so that we've got some nice contrast. If I can find what it is. I'm gonna go with, I've not got any green, go with the blue. Let's go with the hearts. I like the hearts. The hearts are nice. And then I may cover the outside. Actually, let's do that first. I think I'll stick these in, and then I'll start covering the outside, just so that we've got something to work on. Or what I can do, if everybody is happy with it, is we can maybe finish this next week, next Sunday Fun Day, and then that way I don't feel as I'm rushing it. What does everybody think to that? Yes, it is very I'm loving it. Then what I can also do is finish my last page so that we're ready. I think that's what I may do. I'll get these in, get my tags in, and then I might call it an afternoon and come back next week, and we will finish it and decorate it. And then that'd be quite nice actually, because then I can feel I can spend a bit of time decorating it up and doing all those finishing touches that we kind of I never seem to have any time for. So I think that's what I'll do. So remember, I'm missing one, so that's what they look like in. And then when I put in my tags, these tags can be photo mats as well. So that one tends to have gone all the way down there. There we are. And then that's in there, like so. And then when you close that up, you get the tag book that way. Now if you wanted to, you could have it coming so it opens this way as well. You don't have to have it, so you can have it portrait rather than landscape. I actually like it landscape because I like this side, and then you can just pull them out. But you know, it depends on what you want, so you could have it that way if you wanted to. So I think what I'll do is I shall leave that there, and we'll come back and finish this next week. So what I'll do is this evening I'll write up all of the cutting measurements. So if you didn't craft along with me doing this on live, then you can then look back, and then you've got the cutting measurement and the guide to do it. And then we will come back next week and we will do all the pretty stuff. So we'll decorate our tags, decorate our pages a little bit. We can't decorate them too much because obviously we've got to be careful with them we haven't got a lot of space in between. And then we can then do the front and then maybe add some flowers and stuff like that. So thank you ever so much for joining me again this afternoon. I really hope you've liked watching it. Please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe on the channel. It really does help. And if you're not a member of the group on Facebook, Memories Paper Art, I know a lot of you are, so thank you ever so much. And I will see you again next Sunday. And yeah, enjoy your week everybody, and I will see you again soon. Bye.